Sup guys, so just the breakdown for the week ahead and what we're looking for. With EU, it's a little bit iffy, really just not loving it all at all at the moment. This is where we started last Monday. This is where we are today. We're literally in the same spot. We've had one tiny little break of this point. Really not even seeing it as a break of an internal structure, more so just seeing it as a build-up of liquidity in this entire area. Like technically price has gone below this point over here, but it's just so insignificant and it took so long to get down there. And as soon as it's done it, it's obviously has pushed its way back up. So for me at the moment, looking for sellers, if I am going to look to sell, I need all of this gone, preferably even come up and take this high and then start to sell back down. Ideally, if I can, buying it would be nice. Don't want to buy from down here as obviously we've got all this liquidity inside of this area. We do have a 10-minute point sitting here. That was a supply to a demand point, but obviously it hasn't led to any significant breaks in the market or anything like that. Like right now, that is our internal of our 15-minute external range. And yeah, it's just sideways at the moment with EU. So like I said, if we can follow with this buying momentum that we've got here, targeting this point or even the 4-hour extreme up there, that's going to be ideal. Bare minimum for buyers need to take this low, potentially come and mitigate this point, then look for it from there. We are looking to buy out of that area. It is going to be needing like quite a strong entry model, like a 2-leg with an internal inducement or something along those lines. Just needs to be something significant, not just like a quick internal break, but really more or less looking to target this, take that out, come to our 4-hour extreme, then we can look to sell on our way down following with that bearish momentum. So looking good nonetheless. EU just needs to give a bit of movement. It's been slow over the last couple of weeks in terms of the opportunities that it's been presenting. I'd love for it to get down here to some of these points to buy it back up, but it's just something that's going to be less of a focus at the moment when we've got pairs like GU, AU, and USD CAD that are shaping up a bit better. So I'll let Brad go through GU now.
Beautiful. So GU is definitely the pair that we want to be looking at out of Euro and GU, like Dylan said. So as you can see, there's multiple ways you can actually look at this right now. Ideally, I think we're heading for this 4-hour point. We've got a lot of momentum, sorry, to the upside. Now, the only thing being is we're kind of mid-range in this momentum, and we've had what looks like and could be the start of our complex pullback, possibly to an area like this, or to come into, the extreme demand area to then push up back to the upside. So it's a bit interesting where we are. The only thing only really real reason I say that is on the 15-minute. If you look at the end of last week, we actually pulled down and took this liquidity here. Now, there is a nice hourly point here that makes a lot of sense for price to come into. It is a supply to demand point, and it's actually a very strong supply to demand point as it created this huge external range here on the 15-minute. Ideally, I would like price to step its way down into this point, but with this wick through taking so much liquidity, there is like a 4-hour demand area here. You might find that this here was enough, and now it's created that internal break to the upside, which could be the start of our new leg. So they're the multiple ways we can look at this. Either way, we kind of want price to either push up here and sell to come into a demand to continue with the bullish, or what we would rather is price come down first, look for a buy, or even come down and induce this low to then buy it, continue into the upside. So you've got to remember where the momentum still is, even though we've had this really, like it's like a minor market structure shift to the downside, so small. It can be seen as an inducement or a break of structure. You've got to look at the external range and what's happening. It looks like price is bullish in momentum and is heading to this 4-hour point. So ideally, like I said, we want to aim for here. It may just be like a slow Monday and Tuesday, deciding on whether or not it's going to sell into a buy or if it's just going to buy straight up. So ideally, if price can start, coming into Monday, coming into today, price can induce this low, give us a medium inducement of this retest liquidity and come here. We've then got price that's come mitigated and induced here, started a new leg. This here is just an obvious entry model where we can be aggressive and look for an entry. So that in itself will give us an A+ setup. If price wants to push up above here, I'm less inclined to be aggressive to sell. Like I said, we want to go with momentum, want to go with those higher time frames. This point here is very filled on lower time frames, so we may get London mess about, do nothing like it has been the last couple of weeks, come up, push through here, and get an external inducement into a point like this to then sell to buy. I highly doubt that we'll just become bearish from here. Yes, we have had an inducement of this hourly high here, but lining up with EU, GU, and EU kind of tell us that price at least wants to push this 4 hour point. It's just whether or not we decide to come lower first and then go higher, or if we just continue straight up higher. So it's definitely a bit of a 50-50 situation. But the good thing about that is coming into this week, we can actually look for both. We're not so set on one thing happening, and it gives us options and possibly able to hedge against trades. So it's in an interesting point. This is definitely the pair we'll be watching over the tours. EU just needs to sort its shit out. But I quite like where it is, especially coming into London today. So quite nice.
We could easy done. I might just go over AU and CAD
Mhm.
as well quickly, as they've got some good potential on them. Very, very basic sort of stuff.
Sounds good.
Sweet. So AU, we're inside of this leg at the moment. Prices obviously come right the way up and started to break its way down, mitigating as it's going, and then it's done these couple of internal breaks here, and again mitigated as it's going. So I'm really looking for similar sort of things, following with this complex pullback, targeting some of these lower points, which is going to line up quite nicely with potentially GU giving a bit of a sell. So really just looking for it to step up, potentially come and take out all of this, or just this internal 15-minute point here and follow with that selling momentum. And then CAD looking to come and take out some of the structure we've got sitting up here. We're right at the bottom of this leg, done a complete retracement, pulled all the way back down, having a bit of a reaction off at this point, which we know is going against momentum. So shouldn't hold. So we'll be looking to potentially come and take out this point as well. So yeah, really like Brad was saying, GU is the main focus, and then AU and USD CAD are actually better to look at over EU. So that's going to be the main outlook for the week.